Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today? Sound a little tired.
Because I went to bed like 4 a.m.
Oh my goodness. Do you want to change the IS time?
Well, I do not always go to bed that late though. The highest time it's just um aren't you very booked on Wednesday? Do you have another time on Wednesday which is like after 10?
Um, I do. I have a 10:30.
Oh, that might actually
From
work well.
10:30 to 11, because I have Audrey at 11.
Oh, okay. Can I take that period from beginning next
Sure.
week?
Okay.
Thank you.
What did you want? Let's see, next week. Wow, the month is flying by. So that will be the 5th going forward. Okay.
And 10:30
And
another.
then after the 5th, we won't meet for 2 weeks. So after next week, we won't meet for 2 weeks because that's the asynchronous learning 2 weeks.
Oh, okay. So how can I catch the other time?
We'll, as when I get, when we get back when I get back, we'll find a time. It may be an alternative time. It may be one occasion where you could do 8 and 10:30. We'll figure it out.
Okay, no problem.
Um, what did you want to cover today?
Before that, I'm going to send you
Sure.
my verbatim.
Okay.
Um, what time is this? Eight. By 9 o'clock, I should be able to send it to you.
Okay.
I just want to edit. I've not edited it, and I don't like sending anything that is not edited. I wasn't. Um, I'll edit it and then send it to you.
Did you finish it at 4 a.m.?
Very honestly, yes.
Honestly, okay. So yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah, this week is one of those week that I have seminarians and students, the grad master students that come in for
Ah,
1 week.
okay.
There's a group that just come in every month for 1 week. So I have them this week,
Okay.
um, till Thursday night, which is fine. But
Wow, okay.
yeah, but good.
Problems with
I
my
had
mind.
organized it in such a way that I don't have it on Wednesday, which is good because well, that is why it's good to be a tenure faculty. You can move things around for your classes. It was hard,
Okay.
but I don't have them on Wednesdays. That's the reason why in between it's very hard for me to do anything.
Okay. I get
Yeah.
that. All right, we'll make that work. And good. So we're set for next week. You're gonna send the verbatim later today.
I will try to get it to you by 9. After this meeting, I'm going to just clean it up, reread and clean it up, then I'll send it. I'm right. I'm doing it on Naomi. This is a very.
Oh,
Are you
Naomi.
doing the didactic on moral injury today, or when is it you're doing?
It's the 26th at 5:30 with Terry. And you
Oh,
said you may miss it because you have a conflict.
26. That is when I'll be coming back, remember? But
Right.
again, as I said, if I get here, if I'm able to do it, I will. And even if I get here late, I'll still join.
That
I
reminds
don't
me
want
of,
to.
yes, to forward the moral injury resources that I got from Dr. West. So I need to send those. They're very good. They're
Okay.
very good. If we hadn't already scheduled Terry, we probably would have been fine just looking at the video and talking about it.
Oh, okay, that's good
Yeah.
because it's I had never really thought about it, and it's one of the things that I did a verbatim on Naomi Kanta again because it is something that I really never I looked at PTSD always through trauma-informed care, but never really categorized it under moral injury at all until you mentioned it. And
Ah, okay.
yeah, you had mentioned it. I don't
So,
know at what point you mentioned it at some point in class.
right.
And also because I've really not really encountered somebody who is PTSD to that point where you experience combat line, somebody dying. So I really I've not gotten that encounter. So when I had this met with Naomi, that um you when she's talking, that's how I came to begin to realize the impact of moral injury. And the very first encounter that I met with her, we didn't talk that much. But when I went back, because I realized that is what is going on, I realized, okay, Alice, you have to go and research on this now to be able to have a good conversation with her and to really understand what is going on. And that's how I began researching to understand what is moral injury within the context of PTSD, within the context of trauma-informed care. If we are not said anything in class, I would have never, that's where you do assessment wrong because you are looking at this through, I would have just looked at it through trauma informed. And that is the traumatic experience she's getting, but never really categorizing it. So I'm glad that our class, you particularly, had mentioned it, that allowed me to read more on that. So I'm grateful.
Good. I'm glad for that. Let me back up for a second. Did you ever have an opportunity to read the verbatim that I sent you back with those specific sort of cues? Hey, this leans more towards spiritual care assessment or spiritual care intervention, and this one leans more towards what we might describe as pastoral. Did you ever have a chance to read
Yes,
that?
I did. Yeah,
Okay.
yes.
Was it helpful? Did you have any questions from that or feedback from that?
Um, the cues, okay, I would say that I read that a week after that.
Mm-hmm.
And that also led me to more on again, that's one thing that me to more exploration of pastoral and spiritual care assessment. Uh,
Okay.
I would say that even in the care encounters now, I'm really attentive to what kind of questions are being asked, who is asking, and how prayer comes in, and
Mm-hmm.
who is requiring prayers. So those things I'm more attentive when I do those type of cares. For
Okay.
instance, I will never have even consider, as I told you, I did a lot of what do you call it? Mentoring at APU, really did a
Yes.
lot of mentoring. And this encounter with Naomi, again, it was precipitated with the book I told you, the Good, the Beautiful, the Kind, that has a lot on trauma-informed care. That book is so permeated by those wounds that are really from trauma. And I always knew she was veteran. I've never had any relationship with her. And that encounter in class that really became the impetus for me encountering her and meeting with her after at her own request. And I've never even had the opportunity to really. Most of the time when I go to these care encounters, I really don't think much. But in following your assessment and following all the talk on pastoral care, spiritual care, it has become I'm intentionally thinking on what to say and what not to say. Something I never usually do. I just go into this care encounter and do the care encounters without really extremely being careful of the language used, my interaction and the kind of cues that moves away from seeing this again. as APU, immediately I would have thought, okay, this is all about spiritual care, pastoral care. This is all about church and which wasn't this, right? I don't know if that question is leaning towards the Naomi situation or in general.
Mhm. No, thank you. You answered my question. Thank you. All of your visits can, raise this conversation about pastoral and spiritual care. And I think you're going towards board certification.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why one of the reasons I keep trying to stir it. Maybe I'll let that inform one of the questions I picked for Alfredo for that didactic. So that'll help. I'll focus on that. Let me make that note so that I don't forget. And I think that it'll just be a good circle back around to this conversation. Because it will be very, uh, I don't want this to be an overstatement.
Right.
My experience, just my in doing the board certification interviews, is that sometimes that inability to really define what you're doing in spiritual care can be the very thing that has the committee say they're not ready. And so I think it's worth spending a little bit more time. And certainly by your fourth unit, by middle of your fourth unit, it is likely to be second nature to you. It will probably be second nature to you before then.
Mhm.
But okay, good. No, this is good information to just keep before us. So I'm looking forward to your verbatim. Your outcomes and indicators have been coming along fine. You're not seeming to have any problem with those.
Mhm.
The group dynamic seems to be moving well.
Mhm.
Okay. Um, have you seen the boy, the adolescent boy again?
The one you mean
Junior?
Eden?
JR? Eden. Eden.
You mean Eden?
I mean
Or
Eden.
which you are not talking about Junior, I mean Eden.
I mean Eden from the
Yes,
adopted
yes,
son.
yes, I have. Yeah.
Did you color with him? How did that go? That was one of the interventions you were planning for to
Mhm.
color with him. How was it for you? Was it a good
I did
experience?
not do any
Drawing?
thing with him. No, I did not. Well, it could. I just didn't because he was just in chaos. So there was no he was just in very chaos because one of the teachers had, oh my God, school. Everybody then need to learn about trauma informed care. And one of the teacher, this is the thing. Aiden's whole thing is everything they say about him is the things he does wrong. Remember, in one
Remember. Yeah.
that I told, that was one of the things I wrote. Everything they say about Aiden is when he's wrong. And then we met actually. When did we meet? We met Monday afternoon. Yes, Monday afternoon. What had happened? He had had some really bad issue in class because he doesn't talk much in class, really. And one of the students had thought that he was using AI in class while they were doing some assignment, which he was not even doing. And the teacher did not even ask, "What are you doing?" Just assume he did. And said, "That's," and then her attitude towards him was, "You are always like that. When will you do something right?"
Hmm.
Quote unquote. When will you ever do something right? Quote unquote. That was a big, and then obviously he reacted and left the class, banged the door, never went back, went and sat outside, and he told me he was shaking and shaking and shaking. And we had already the plan that I was going to meet him. It's not like otherwise, Terence said he would have called me, but because we had already had the plan that we would meet him. When I met him, there was really not much words. When you say that, just being this silent presence, we sat and I sat with him. I said, if you're okay, we'll just sit for a bit. And when you're ready, if you feel like sharing anything with me, then I'm here with you, but I'm here right now. And that's when he sat and looked at me sad, as usually he would do his thing. Then he exploded. It's like nobody ever see anything right I do, and they just assume I do. I'm always doing something wrong when I do. Who will ever care about me? You know. So it was an encounter that
Wow.
gave me no space to say. And even after your comments, even I planned, I wouldn't do that. I would just go
Mhm.
meet with him and just meet him where he is. I'm not going to. But he is it's just in a wreck. But before the end, he was calming down. He really was calming down after our conversation. But I came
How
out
old is he again?
eating 17.
17.
Yeah,
Wow. Mm.
17. 17 is a boy that he has no independence at all. It is like as I told you, he lives in foster care.
Right.
He has no independence at all. It's everybody is controlling his life in one way or another. In classroom, the teacher, in there, the social work, everybody is controlling
Yeah.
his life. And one of the things that he asked me, which is I actually consulted with my sister, who is a social worker. Why is it that this social worker always assume the worst?
Mm.
The then the one question, this is where you two feel that it's like they just want to medicate me all the time. Which is
Yeah.
true. They just want to medicate him. And Donald, this guy pulled off his shirt. His whole hands were mutilated.
Hmm.
I mean, he pulled off his shirt. His whole hands was mutilated.
This part, the
Yes,
inside.
yeah, the inside. So this is what he's doing. He's cutting himself. And I said, how does that make you feel? He says, I feel in control. I feel that I can take matters in my own hand. And I don't, and then after I consulted with my sister, and I really asked, don't they teach you guys in social work, trauma-informed care, don't they teach you in social work how to engage these students that, and what he didn't really need, what I'm assessing his need, he just need affirmation. I don't think it's a child that says, I'm not doing something wrong. He didn't need people to see him and affirm him. He needs that affirmation so that, again, my assessment, he didn't say that. So that when he does something you want to correct, he knows that it's out of love. And he knows that that is not just what he is. He's someone that you are affirming. You are seeing things that he can do. He said, everybody in class, this teacher, I talked with Terence and I said, this is my own experience. And this is a problem with Eden also. In therapy, Eden doesn't talk much because he doesn't trust. He trusts nobody. He doesn't trust. In classroom, he set zero. He's reactive, however, but he doesn't talk much. Because I sit with him, like for instance, I notice his pants. I say, oh, I really love that. I love that color. Just something that I could say something different than what he's hearing. So that is the kind of presence I really now have with him. I you will not believe, well, you believe it maybe now. I have not prayed with him at all. Prayer hasn't come up in that. Yes, he has questioned God, but not anything. We've never prayed before. Because I'm saying to myself, if he needs it or in that situation, if he wants to talk about God, he has to initiate it. I do not initiate it. And
Right.
this is one of the things for your feedback also. This is one of the things in all this care encounter. If someone want to bring God into it, because again, Naomi, for instance, his whole thing is questioning God a lot in this, that the killing of the friend. I really don't take it more than that. I just said to myself, it is hard for me. I would tell you this. If
Right.
it's something I would tell you in IS, it's really hard for me to see somebody like in that type of fractured situation, in that kind of pain, that sees God as one who is not actively doing something for that person to feel better, for me not to say something.
Mhm.
And in that note, if I want to say, to be very honest, it's more harder on my part, and that is a big thing, transformative thing for me. But is it something I will tell you that, no, no, oh, this feels good? No, it doesn't. It really challenges everything about me, because I want to, well, for lack
That's
of
the
better,
that's the shift.
but it's hard though. It is really, yeah, it is really hard. But I keep saying, this is for me. I'm not going to lie to you. Is the hardest thing ever. And I'm not also going to lie to you. Sometimes I say, Lord, is you think this is the kind of ministry I want to do? That I see somebody helplessly in this situation who thinks you are not there, who thinks um and I'm not able to say anything. Sometimes I question it. I'm like, this is just a difficult thing. But that is what meeting people where they are is all about. This is all about, which you sometimes say, giving that person the agency. It is not like you can bring God in it. Let them want to talk about God. Let them, if they want prayer, let them ask for it. It's not like, okay, this in this situation, spiritual care is the absence of God, the absence of prayer. That's not what. And I'm getting to really, really understand. It's not the absence. It is meeting the other person where they are, just being with them and help them to articulate that language. And if they come to a place they see me is, can you help me understand this? Would you pray with me? Of course, I will do that.
Right.
But they don't.
That's
So,
right. Often they don't. In your theology of spiritual care,
mhm.
what is your theology of spiritual care? Where is God in you
God,
as a spiritual caregiver?
you know what? I will tell you, I'm embracing Esther. You know, Esther is one of those books that God is all over but never mentioned. Right? That theology is becoming crucial for me. Is God is in this place right now, even if God is not being mentioned. It permeates with God just being there for that person, being present with that person is God being with them. It doesn't need to articulate that language. And if
Can
that
you
language is articulated, it will be articulated by them.
can you move from here to articulating it in first person?
Mhm.
Where is God in your theology of spiritual care when Alice is the spiritual caregiver?
To say it in the first
In
person,
first person, I believe, I
I believe
am.
that, yeah. In the first person, I'll say God is in that space. God is present. But
So those are two powerful theological statements.
mhm.
Where's Alice? Because Alice is not in that. Where's Alice in that formula? God is there, God is present.
And then for me, I really say that as a spiritual caregiver, as a pastoral caregiver, as in those places that um what God is not absent in what I am doing. So I don't understand the language you want me to use. You can help
No, I'm inviting you, and I appreciate it. So we've gone from the theological statement, God is there, God is present, to saying God is not absent.
Mhm.
Where is God and Alice?
Well, if you want me to say from my perspective, again,
Yeah,
from the perspective of Alice, I know God is with me.
God is with you.
It is with me in that encounter.
And what does that mean?
That means that even my presence itself does not need to be articulated in language. I do not need to use and to
So this is what I'm
articulate.
going to take from you right now. You
Mm-hmm,
can't tell me what it is by telling me what it's not.
mm-hmm. Okay, can you help me understand? Because
Yes.
I think I'm confused.
I said where, and you said God is not. I don't have to speak. I don't have to do. I
I
don't.
think God is really there. For me, I believe every encounter God is present. However, we articulate that God in whatever language we use it. But for me, I used to articulate by naming it. I don't need to name it. God is present there in that encounter. So
In
that's
the atmosphere, on the floor, on the ceiling, in the pen, on the paper, when you say God is there, what is that? Where? So you and Eden are sitting there and God is hovering above?
no, God is in me, with
Oh,
me.
that's a first person statement.
Okay, God is in me, God is with me. God is in this sense, Naomi, God is with Naomi. However, we articulate that God, even in the laments, that is also God presence. Lament is a
So
form of prayer.
when Alice is with Eden or with Naomi, God is present in Alice,
Yeah.
doing what? Taking a nap, observing, judging, preparing fire and brimstone. What's God doing inside of Alice?
God is with me. Um,
On your right shoulder or your left? Sitting next to you, on top of your head?
in my heart,
Oh, in your heart.
in my heart, in my whole person, my whole presence, that is God with me. You know, yeah. The difference though, which was said that the difference though, and I'm going to emphasize the difference for me and the struggle with me is to be able to articulate it, which I cannot. Um, um, I think you understand what I'm trying to say. It is um, when God is being brought in form of like in Naomi, where was God in this, and why would God even allow this to happen? That is the language where I would have come in to say something, the God talk. I don't.
I
That
I understand that and I appreciate that. And thank you. That's powerful. And I'm grateful for that self-awareness and self-monitoring in that moment.
right. I mean, I did a lot of self-monitoring, which I wasn't doing though. And the moment I realized spiritual care, pastoral care have this form of clinical work with too, then there's a lot of monitoring in terms of the cues. What is it? My posture in this and my reaction in this, what I say, what I don't say, what, again, like a lot of things now, instead of, I'm doing a lot of things that I would have not done. Um, yesterday afternoon when Naomi and myself met, when she was talking and talking, at some point I invited her to just breathe because I just see the tension of weeping. And I said, could we just pause and breathe? Which was helpful because it turned the nature of that conversation differently. I didn't say, let's pause and pray, right? I said, let's breathe, you know, which now I'm beginning, honestly, I'm really understanding how powerful those can be. Those are also forms of prayer. And this for me is what I'm taking. I'm not saying we didn't
Right.
have prayer there. Those are different forms of prayer. Something which I wasn't doing, which because that breathing exercises are really helping me in a lot of situations. I'm just putting it in so many things in my life right now.
Yeah. I think that's powerful. We're at the end of our time. Are you familiar with Sally McFague's work on metaphorical language for God?
No.
No, I'm gonna see if I
I've
can
heard
find.
about it though, but I've not really, no.
I'm gonna see if I can find a simple article or something,
Mhm.
because I'd love to share that with you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate where you are, and yeah, I look forward to seeing you this afternoon. Maybe you can take a nap. between now and then.
No,
I am.
I need to reread because last
Oh,
night
that's right. You want to edit it.
yeah.
The 9 o'clock is fine. 10 o'clock is fine as well. I probably won't get to read them till noon. So you have that. Okay.
I'll just do it right now and then so that I know I sent it.
Okay.
Because
And
as I told
go
you,
ahead and send it to my Yahoo.
Yahoo, okay,
Yeah.
good, do that.
All right. Thank you. I'll see you
Thank
tonight.
you for all your feedbacks because
Thank you.
they're really helpful. You know, sometimes I didn't get,
Good.
but now I'm getting it more. I see where you're coming.
Absolutely.
You know, hopefully
You
next.
are absolutely getting it. It's not if, you are. You are getting it and you are articulating it. And that's why I keep pushing you to talk, because that's part of the competency is now you demonstrate it and you can articulate it and you're doing it. You are doing it. So it's not gonna be, you're doing it.